Well, welcome to our online event. Colton, I just want to thank you for the inspiration for having this class event. We did have about 10 people register. And I don't know if any of your friends or family were able to hop on. But we will record it and I will send out the recording. So you're welcome to send it to whoever you'd like. So we'll kind of, oh, here comes Virginia. Hopping on. So there's been a lot going on in the world. I mean, obviously over the past few years. And so this is kind of a combination of things to address some of the health challenges as well as financial challenges or just goals that people have in both of those. And so we want to kind of cover both of that. But before we begin, for those who are on, you're welcome to either unmute or to post in the chat if you're able to access that. And we just would like to, I don't know if I should stream this into the Facebook group. I'll do that in a second. But I'd like to know from you who are on, what's important to you when it comes to creating income, and then also what's important to you about your health, for your health. So just take a second. You can either unmute or put in the chat maybe what's your top things for creating income, and the other one is with health.
Something to think about would be what you would use that extra $200, $300 a month, $500 a month for, right? And look at how that would affect your life.
While you're thinking, I'm going to put this in the Facebook group.
I can answer. What's important for health? All the layers. There's so many layers, but I think at the end of the day, to kind of sum it up, is to for me to ensure, like, I have a desire, like I see a lot of women and even men in my community who there's so many layers, like either they have some type of diagnosis or they're somehow lack physical capacity. So for me, I'm wanting quality of life, you know, make the investment now for later, so that when I'm older, I'm able to move around without assistance. And that could look so many ways, but yeah, so capacity for the future, quality of life, and in terms of income, I would say potential and flexibility.
Okay. Yeah, and I think for us who are getting older like that with the health, it becomes so much more of a priority. Like maybe when you're younger and you hurt something, you heal pretty fast, you move on. But then as you get older, you're like, that becomes a really big concern, right? Like, and it's awesome to do it earlier. The earlier that we can really focus on that, the better. And then as well as, like you're saying, having the income possibility, and what can it be, and then what can it like provide as far as flexibility. Yeah. Anyone else, Virginia or Colton, if there's any health goals or income, like what is important to you? And you are muted, Virginia. I don't know if you're.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay. As far as for the income, it would be wonderful, except I don't have the salesperson personality that I feel it takes to do that. I
We're gonna
I
actually
just
talk
know it's
about
not in
that.
me.
We're going to actually talk about that during this, because usually
Okay.
a lot of people's, but as far as what's important to you about income, what is there on that aspect?
Well, but I think it would be good for paying off a credit card, because when you have to go to get your car serviced or something else comes up or medical or anything, it's like, oh, I don't have that cash. What am I going to do? Well, you have to do something, and so you charge it, and then it starts accumulating. Or sometimes when I want to get a certain oil or certain oils that I want to order, and one of them is like more expensive than the other, or like I want to take my vitamins, my Live Long Vitality, and it's like, okay, well, I don't have that kind of money this month, but I need my vitamins, so I'm going to charge them. And there went another, so things like that for that purpose would be good.
Okay, that's good to know,
Yeah.
like making it real in that aspect. In fact, I was just listening to a podcast this morning, and they're talking about how interest rates on credit cards are going to be going up. Like a lot of people are starting to
Oh,
pay
great.
like 20%. Yeah, I mean, that is crazy. But with all of these hikes through inflation, there are more and more people putting things on credit cards, and the credit card
Right.
companies are now getting concerned they're going to be left holding the bag if people aren't able to pay. So
Right.
yeah, like we're in this situation where even just something like that, like just having that card available for emergencies, but then it could be a concern if we're, yeah. Okay.
And as far as for health, for me, it's like right now, brain fog. For some reason, it's like, okay, I have a phone. I got to put something in just in my reminders. And but I got to go to the bathroom. So I go to the bathroom, come back to my bedroom. It's like, what was I doing? And
Right.
I look at my phone, and it's like, no, I have it turned on. It's charging. Yeah, no, okay. And then walk out of the room and then go do something else. And I go, oh, I know. And I go directly to what I was going to do. Otherwise, if I think of something else, by the time I get to where I was going, I'll forget about it. So now I go directly to what I was going, and I keep repeating to myself, put on there on the phone what you had to do. Put on the phone what you had to do. And so I go and I do it.
That is, again, something super real. And I think Lisa's writing that down because she's going to be addressing these. And then if there's other things as well,
Yeah.
from a research base, what can you do as far as natural options, essential oils to address
Right.
those things, right?
Yeah.
So I think she's going to have some cool stuff.
Good.
Okay. So at least for you two, we're going to make sure that we cover those things that are important to you. As far as the agenda, we're going to give a little bit of background. I mean, you kind of know both of us, but for those who are watching the replay, kind of know what our little story is. And we will be helping you to see what the possibilities are of being a part-time entrepreneur in this natural wellness space. That helps meet those needs and the desires of things that are important to you without any gimmicks, no sleazy sales pitches, no pyramid scheme type stuff. Like that's not what we want, right?
Right.
So we will first like introduction. So Elise and I became acquainted in her small town of Duchesne. I moved out there, but she had already been there, and she had a preschool, and my son went to her preschool. Was in like the basement of her house, and he loved it. Like amazing just opportunity there to be able to meet her. And then my husband and her husband became friends through different church things, and so that's how we got to know each other. And in fact, we were flying kites in a hayfield one day, and I started having allergies and didn't have my medication, and she had approached me with an essential oil. And I never heard of essential oil. I didn't know what they were, and but I trusted her, and so she put a couple of drops on my finger, and then just I rubbed it on the bridge of my nose, and within minutes my allergies were gone.
Wow.
And that was a really powerful experience for me. And I was appreciative to her, especially in hindsight, that she was willing to kind of step out of her comfort zone. She was newer to oils, didn't know if it would even work, but was willing to say, hey, maybe this would work. And that really put us and our family on a completely different trajectory as far as how we take care of our health. So that was really impactful for us. But then also, like a year later, after using oils and we had moved from Duchesne to California, there was an income crisis. And I thought, oh my gosh, I love these. This could be an opportunity to change our income trajectory, and be able to do it on my terms as a mom of 5 kids at that time, and be able to create income and be able to help people. So, you know, we both have come from a small town, but at least, I don't know if you want to share your background.
Well, so yeah, small town. I've always lived in a small town. That's kind of was something that was a core thing for us. We wanted to raise our kids in a small town, but wanted to make sure our kids didn't feel like that limited their opportunities, right? Or their potential. And I had never used essential oils before, but I wasn't sleeping well. We'd lost my mother-in-law to cancer, and we had been her primary caregivers. And that loss just really hit me hard. I no longer had her to care for 24 hours a day. And I heard on the radio that lavender could help you sleep. So I started buying lavender Walmart, honestly. And I said to my husband, it smells like soapy or like my grandma. I'm not loving this. We had gone on a hike in southern Utah, and on our way home, we stopped in the city at a farmer's market. And my husband's said exactly to me, there was a diffuser going on this table, and he said, go see if that booth has a better lavender. And that's what started it all for us. I went over, asked them to smell their lavender, and it smelled like a plant. My untrained nose knew it actually dirt, right? And so I bought some lavender, and then I thought, I wonder, my husband had had an ankle injury. So I went back over and said, is there anything that could help my husband's ankle injury? Yep, bought another bottle. Went back, that could help my grandma. So pretty soon, the gal, her name was Natalie Goddard. She said, okay, we're doing this wrong. She took the bottles away from me. She said, here's a kit at wholesale pricing. And I said, oh, I cannot spend that much money unless I have a book. And she literally took her book from Barnes & Noble on essential oils out of her purse and gave it to me and said,
Wow.
my book. Yeah. So I bought those. And when Stacy and I had our hayfield experience, I hadn't really told anybody we were using oils. I sort of promised my kids and my husband I wouldn't be the weird mom and I wouldn't make them the weird family. They were willing to let me experiment on them, but they just didn't want to get labeled weird. So yeah, helping Stacy was kind of one of those first times I really did step out and just say, I have something that the book says will help you. And that's what helped me start gaining that confidence to share. The other part of that was I wanted to start taking doTERRA's vitamins. Virginia mentioned taking the supplements, and it was not in our budget. My husband's in law enforcement. I taught preschool in our basement. And actually at that time, I think we bought a tire store because my husband wanted to take a break from law enforcement. That didn't make us any money either. Taught us a lot of good skills. And so I had to figure out how I was going to afford $76.50 a month so that I could get Lifelong Vitality. So I did 2 things. I started to make my own laundry soap, started to make my own cleaners, and started to teach classes. And that's how I got to where I could have that loyalty rewards order with my Lifelong Vitality on it every month. So that's, yeah, we're both, like Stacey said, we both have a bucket full of kids. I have a bucket full of grandkids. Stacey's not very far behind me. Once they start to come, they just keep coming, I'm sure. And we're both just passionate about multiplying our efforts and multiplying our impact, right? Especially as we've seen our kids move into that adult world, giving them the tools, the financial tools, and those health tools to be empowered and move forward. And I think that's something that both Stacy and I can agree is top on our list and why we do what we do.
Absolutely. And just seeing how it has multiplied, because at least sharing with me essential oils and it changing our, like how we took care of our health. Like we have been to the doctor only once for sick care, just because we've been very proactive about taking care of our health. We also have the skills and abilities to use different natural products, essential oils, other things in our home, so that we don't have to go unless it's emergency. Like we've gone for like x-rays, broken legs, stitches in the head, like things that we can't take care of, right? But there's just so much that we can take care of. And then also that ripple effect. So generations, like my kids, Elisa's kids, generations of kids doing things differently. And then also the income aspect of that. So she shared with me, I took to California. I've, met a handful of people who ended up sharing with other people who have shared with other people who have shared with other people. That we have over 150,000, there's maybe more, families who have been impacted by this, whether that's health-wise or financial-wise. And it all just came from like that desire to help and to serve, right? And it just seems to come back to us. So we want to just talk about a couple of like principles or strategies kind of in general that can help from a financial aspect. And the financial piece I am super passionate about. My background is in business. I was pre-med and then got inspired to go and get a business degree, like total shift. But it's like made all the difference for me. But learning some financial principles as far as how to create income that is sustainable and can create generational wealth. There's just some things that I want you to understand with that. And then Elise is going to talk about some general principles as far as health. And then we're going to tie those into like this part-time entrepreneur strategy that we can use with doTERRA that has been established, and how to really implement that, and some of the resources that you have available to you. So you're like, you said you're not a salesperson, you don't, maybe you don't even know much about the oils. We're going to address some of those things and how like at this time in the world, we can overcome those without being some weird person, right? So let me share my screen with you. And by the way, welcome, Mindy. I don't know if Tony's there either.
Hi.
So glad you can hop on. So Mindy is like my son and daughter-in-law's friend, and her husband ran with my husband in high school. Super cool. And you live in our neighborhood for a little bit now too. So
Yep.
awesome.
Lots of connections.
Okay, share my screen. Hey, Tony.
Hey, how you doing?
Really good. And Colton is on as well. I mentioned Colton to you, to vice versa, you guys. Colton
Yeah,
went.
that's right.
Yeah, yep, I remember Colton.
So welcome. I'm gonna share that screen. Okay. So hopefully you can see this. I did want to bring this up because there are a lot of people. So Virginia mentioned just having a little extra so that you didn't have to worry about putting things on a credit card or not being able to pay for just some of those little things. So Forbes had said that the 5 business opportunities perfect for 20 somethings. And I really think this goes for 20 plus, like any of us. They said online content creation, direct sales, network marketing was number 2, real estate, coaching, senior services. Like this is coming from the business world of what are some of the great opportunities that we have. And I would say that why some of these are great is because we can do them part-time. We can learn as we go. There's just some great opportunities with that. And so this is what I teach my kids. We sit down and we play this game called cash flow. And I've been drilling it into their head, because if you get this financial principle, and the earlier you get it, the sooner you can start creating financial freedom and time freedom, that flexibility with your time as well. So this is called the cash flow quadrant. So there's 4 different quadrants here, and none of them are bad, but it's just understanding how people create income in different ways. Most of us start out by creating income as employees, right? We have a job, we work for someone, we get paid for our time. We work an hour, we get paid an hour. This is 95% of the people on this planet. This is how they create income. There is nothing wrong with it. It is honorable. But to understand, in order to create that freedom and flexibility, it doesn't come as an employee. So the next quadrant down is being self-employed. So this is Elise buying a tire store, and now they're self-employed. Like, they're the employees working in our business. I did the same thing. I had an eBay business where I bought scrapbook stores that were going out of business. I liquidated it. So it was nice because I was the boss, but I was also the employee. So there wasn't a lot of time freedom, but I did be able to create more that way. But again, not time freedom, and you're never going to create financial freedom through that, right? So on the other side of this cash flow quadrant is really where you can start creating financial freedom and time freedom. So a business owner is one who owns a system that works for you. And so a system might be, maybe you've bought I don't know, like rentals, right? And you have this system of you buy them, you rent them out, you're able to create system. You're not always there doing the work, right? You're gonna get paid over and over again as you're renting that out. And there's other systems. We're gonna talk about that with doTERRA, how it's created this system. And then there's an investor. And this is where you're using money to work for you. So this might be you're investing, you're receiving dividends, you're receiving interest, whatever that is from your investments, but you're using money or you're using a system. Most people don't just have a bucket load of money to be able to invest to create the type of residual income that would create financial freedom. So this is really limited for most people. Like the average person isn't able to do this, maybe on a small scale, but not on a bigger scale, one that would actually create financial freedom. So this is what the one that is so powerful for the average person is because if they can find a system that they can tap into, and that system starts working for you, that you can start creating financial freedom and time freedom. And so understanding this cash flow quadrant is the power is getting over onto the right side. It's getting over into that business owner investor side that will create financial freedom and time flexibility. And is using these, whether you're an employee or self-employed, using the income that you're generating there, a little bit of that to get to the other side. A little bit of your time to get to the other side. This is powerful. Like once you really understand this, that's when you can start creating time and financial freedom. Okay, any questions about that? I'm going to share a story that kind of demonstrates this. And many of you, maybe you've heard this. If you're watching the replay, maybe you've heard this, but I love this whole analogy about hauling buckets. So there's two cute little girls there, but this happens to be a story of like a lady or a man who was living in a village and there wasn't a water source. And so she would take her buckets down to the water source and haul them back, and that was the water for their family. And then she had this great idea. What if I became self-employed, right? So she would haul buckets and people would pay her for that. And so that created additional income for her. Obviously not time freedom, right? Not financial freedom, but it created income for her. And then she had this bright idea. What if I created a system where she was taking a little bit of time, a little bit of extra money to build a pipeline? That was her system that she was creating. And so she built this pipeline and at some point was able to turn that spigot on. And so then she was getting paid over and over again for the work that she had done in the past. And she did have to, you have to maintain the pipe. So it's not like you're doing nothing at that point, but you're doing far less, right? And so that's this idea of being able to create a financial pipeline to create that time and financial freedom. And being able to find a system to do that. And so we're going to talk about how doTERRA is that after we talk a little bit about the trends in like healthcare and like what are some of the ways we can build a pipeline there. I think Elise, you're gonna.
Is this me?
That's you. You are the.
All right. So just how Stacy talked about wanting to have that pipeline. When my husband and I, like I mentioned, he was in law enforcement. We decided we needed to just take a break and step away from the stress of that. So we bought a tire store. A brick and mortar business, it ties you down probably more than being an employee because you're not only the owner, but you're also the employee. And when the cat's away, the mouse will play. They don't pick cars. So we learned a lot of amazing things. We made money when we were away from our kids. and we didn't make money when we went away from our kids. And that wasn't a lifestyle that we wanted. We learned quickly that it took both of us to run that shop. And yeah, it was an experience. It was a life lesson, and we were better for it. We are better for it, but we wanted to find a new way. And that happened about the same time that I wanted to find a new way to take care of my family, to start sleeping better, right? And I mentioned to you how I brought home my box of oils. At the time, it was called a Dr. Mom Kit. And I started delving through this book and learning what I could do to start taking care of my family. Instead of hauling a bucket, similar to my child wakes up in the middle of the night with a cough and a fever, we tough it out with whatever's in the medicine cabinet, and then make an appointment for the doctor or go to the Instacare. And we have to bundle up. Yeah, I'm the mom. I have 5 kids, so we bundle them all up, run them all to the doctor, bring them all back. Meanwhile, I've infected the other 4 with who knows what in the doctor's waiting room, and coming all back, right? And then we take the medicine. It lasts for 10 days. It might have worked. It might have not worked. Or we were told it's a virus. Deal with it. And then we really have no tools. And I wanted that to stop. So I bought that box of essential oils and started finding things that I had tools in my cupboard that would do what the doctor couldn't do with a prescription, if it was a virus, right? There were things that I could do that I didn't need to go to the doctor for, and our doctor's visits became less and less and less. Then, as we needed to, as my children grew, I want to share my screen really quick. These are my 5 kiddos, the age of when we started using doTERRA. So they were 3 to 12, 4 to 13, right in there. And so my kids remembered, like, Mom, just go get the Dimetapp, right? Or where's the Robitussin, or the Tylenol. And it was fun to see that evolution as we knew to just grab the oils from the cupboard. And I distinctly remember one night, one of the kids came in, coffee, stuffy nose, headache. It always gets worse at night, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, let me go see if there's even any Dimetapp left in the cupboard. And both my husband and my daughter said at the same time, Mom, I think we have an oil for that. And I was like, oh my gosh. Was when we created that pipeline, right? The kids knew we had shifted how we were taking care of ourselves.
Wow.
Breaking away from those old habits. And I did literally have in my cupboard everything that we needed, and we didn't do the doctor. So with essential oils, or with supplements, with being more aware of how you're feeling, you're going to be able to create a pipeline for your health care. And if you're choosing to share that knowledge, not even sharing oils in a business sense. Stacy and I obviously love the business model that's available with direct sell, with network marketing. But even if you're just sharing that knowledge with your children, with your grandchildren, then you are able to create a pipeline of continual empowered health and preventative health rather than waiting to get sick. They know the things that they do. I was sitting at a doTERRA convention one year, and I heard Emily Wright, and she was talking about, she wanted to create a healer in every home. Having a bottle of oil in every home in the world is her dream. And I thought, wow, that's a huge dream.
Yeah.
And I, as a preschool teacher in my basement, I think in a little bit smaller terms, but I'm like, how are my kids going to take care of me? Because I do have a goal to live to be 100. So I'm a little over halfway there. And I thought, what are we going to do? Will they use oils on me? And it was about that time I got a text from my second daughter, Nikki, and she said, Mom, I just got done with dance and Hannah hurt her hip and I gave her the deep blue in my bag. Is that okay? I could have done a cartwheel because she had just shown me that I could perpetuate through generations, creating that empowered feeling of having solutions, right? Instead of waiting until you have to go to the doctor. So we have both opportunities there for us that are going to fit seamlessly and creating a more empowered environment and a more empowered family for you.
Yeah. And it goes hand in hand. And like Elise was saying, it doesn't have to be like a full-time, full-on business, right? Like sometimes thinking about creating a business or working full-time, especially if you're not in your 20s, where you seem to have tons of energy. Like I hear like Caleb and Marley, my son and daughter-in-law, constantly like they're doing this and they're doing that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember the time when I had so much energy. And that's awesome. But sometimes you don't feel that way, or you are a full-time student, or you have a full-time job, you have all these other things on your plate. How can you create financial or income without all in, right, consuming all that thing, right? How can you do that part-time? And as well as for those who are newer to taking care of their health in a more natural way, how can you like baby step into that so it's not overwhelming? And so that's what I love with the opportunity with doTERRA, is that we have this opportunity to kind of baby step into some of these things, that we don't have to have a full-time business in order to be successful and create some additional income, or to make an impact in people's lives just by sharing a little bit. So
Stacy, can I just really quick, I just thought of this and I wished I could find the picture on my phone fast enough, but I can't. So when I started to teach doTERRA classes, we still owned our tire store, and my husband and I were working, both of us, close to 60 hours a week, 6-10-hour days, 5 kids. Our oldest was 14. She went through high school while we owned the tire store. And I decided that because I had been able to make $1,000 in my basement with glitter and glue and 3-year-olds, to make $1,000 with these amazing essential oils. But I had to teach classes. I had to get creative. A lot of times I would bring clean clothes to the tire store, change in the bathroom, leave a half an hour early so that I could go teach class. And one year we were at convention in downtown Salt Lake, and I got a phone call from my husband. The tire delivery guy had missed a tire, one tire. He missed it. And we had a huge account with an oil field company, and we had to get these sets of tires on.
Oh my.
And so he said, if you can go up to North Temple, the guy's going to be there in 20 minutes and he has the tire. So I literally walked out onto North Temple, downtown Salt Lake, in my cute doTERRA clothes. He rolled a tire off the back of the truck. I picked it up underneath my arm, and we're talking a huge truck tire. I rolled it into the Salt Palace, out down the back garage elevator, and put it in the back of my car so that I could take it home the next day. That's how we built our doTERRA business. It wasn't convenient. It wasn't simple, but we made it work. So I need to find that picture. So I took a picture of myself holding the tire in front of the doTERRA convention sign because I figured that was a pretty unique situation.
yeah, that was, yeah. And I remember doing, like, there were sacrifices as well, that making those things, because my husband taught, it's called Institute. He was away in a different city in Pasadena, and we lived like an hour, sometimes 2 hours, depending on the traffic, away. And I remember when I first started doing this, I'm like, oh, how am I going to do this as like the full-time mom of 5 kids? One of them was like a baby, and make a go of this. There wasn't a lot of online stuff. And so we literally were traveling. I put my kids in homeschool, and I'll tell you, I am not the preschool teacher. I am not. That lasted for a semester because I'm terrible at it. But those sacrifices were made so that I could go and teach these classes. But we don't have to do that now. Like, we don't have to do those things because we have some structures in place that allows people to just simply be able to share, because of the technology that we have, the system that we have. It's so much easier to be able to create income, to be able to share with people. So I think everyone on here knows how to use essential oils. And I'm going to assume the people in our Facebook group do as well. But from the health pipeline aspect, I don't know if anyone has any specific questions or concerns about how to take care of different things. I know Elise, you had written down one of Virginia's about the whole brain fog thing, and I don't know if you had something to share for that. But if anybody has any health things, this is the time to ask about them. And she will be able to share with you some research-backed examples like of essential oils or other products that can help with those things.
Yes, exactly. So I've got Virginia's jotted down. Focus, brain fog. If you guys want to just put in the chat any other health concerns that you have, or maybe things you want to do a little bit different. You know, like for me, I wasn't sleeping, and I don't know, sleeping pills kind of scared me. So I started looking for a different option. So while you're putting that in the chat, I just want to share with you super simply, to me in a nutshell, the 3 coolest things about essential oils. And they are, I'm going to look at my notes so that I don't say them wrong, but they're safe, right? We don't have, there's no harmful chemicals. There's nothing that we need to worry about the overloading the body in any way. They're simple to use, and they're cost effective. And when I say cost effective, there is a cost, right? Yeah. There's a cost associated with anything that's worth doing. But the cool thing is that one essential oil can be used in so many different ways that it makes it really worthwhile. So I just want to share with you quickly. Let's see, can you see my screen? I don't know if you can.
No, it says Elise Coyle Hometown Abundance has started screen sharing, but I can't see it yet.
Okay, is it there now?
No, it's making its little circle around and around and
I
around.
thought I was going to be such a smarty pants. I might have to be.
There you go. I can see you.
Now I'm back, right? If I can just pull up. Okay, we'll do it this way. I think this will work. All right, now you can.
There you go.
There we go.
Any
So,
more? Do you love your oils, Harper?
Oh my goodness, look at this.
You love your oils? Yeah. Good. Did they help you feel better? Did they help you feel better? Oils?
I show that just to show that they really are so simple to use. They are as simple as putting them on the bottom of your feet. Are they safe?
Wait.
Yeah.
They're safe enough that I would put them on my grandson who has a trach and is on a ventilator 24/7.
Now, can you put it on your toes? Good job, Lincoln.
Wow.
Put it on your other ones. On your other toes now. There, good job.
So I hope that that just demonstrates the simplicity and the safety of using essential oils. Those are both my grandkids. So helping show that pipeline of healthcare, right? But then also looking at, as you're teaching people how to use essential oils, Stacy and I have a myriad of experiences that we have put together in resources for you. And you're going to be able to use them in lots of simple ways. I'm going to just share, we'll jump a generation here really quick. A generation or two, maybe. This is my friend, in a minute, Marilyn. And I knew she'd broken her leg, and I knew she loved Deep Blue, but I asked her how she was doing, and this is what, she said she wasn't doing so great. So I sent her some Copaiba based on some studies that had been done. And this is the message she sent me. I am a hot mess. Without going into detail, I have pain issues. I have 2 to 3 migraines a week. I deal with muscle and joint pain. My last injury was a broken leg and dislocated my ankle. 3 surgeries later, the pain is worse than when it first happened. Thankfully, I was using Deep Blue And a few weeks ago, Elise suggested I layer copaiba with the deep blue. I was amazed what a difference this made. I use it on my head and my neck for migraines, and of course my leg and any other areas that seem to creep in with age. I truly recommend using this method for pain relief. So simple, right?
Wow.
But the cool thing is that the studies have been done that copaiba has been proven to reduce inflammation in both your for both central and peripheral pain. And it reduces the inflammation and the cellular damage that causes tissue death. So you're not only helping to relieve that pain, you're eliminating the inflammation and helping the tissues around that injury or that pain to heal rather than die. And we like we like healthy better than dead, right? So let's look in the chat. Virginia, I want to talk about your focus and allergies. So Nunia, that is so interesting because I literally just read in a book that this allergy thing would work. And what we used was, what I gave Stacey was a blend called Purify that doTERRA has, and putting it where it hurt. I had her just put it right over her nose. And it opened up the airway, and it basically just helped. It's got citronella and lemon, and I don't know if there's even any peppermint in there, but it just helped clear away those allergens. It helped take care of that histamine reaction at the time. What doTERRA has specifically for allergies is their Tri-Ease blend, and it's a capsule of lemon, lavender, and peppermint, which that synergistic blend has been clinically proven to reduce or inhibit the histamine reaction that your body has to any type of an allergy, whether it's a bee sting or pollen or sage, whatever it is that you're allergic to. It's going to help. For little kiddos, you can make that in a roller bottle, equal parts of those 3 oils. We provide a dilution chart that you can use and roll that right on their feet, just like my little grandkids do, to take care of that.
And I just want to say with that I had been on Claritin for a long time. And I had this one reaction where one day when I took it, my heart started racing. I'm like, I think I'm dying. Like I had to sit down. I never experienced that before. And it scared me, but I had taken it for so long and no problems that I knew of, other than like the dry nose. Anybody that has allergies that takes medication, like there's some side effects, but they were manageable. But that one scared me. And so that was such a blessing to be able to have another option instead of just having to deal with allergies. And true funny story is my son Jerem, who's an adult now, he was talking with his friends, like 2 of his friends that just got married, they both have allergies. And one of them has said, he's like, I've taken Claritin and la la la. And Jerem's like, what's Claritin? Like, we don't know what Claritin. Like my kids, since the time we started using oils, none of them have taken like any prescriptions, over the counter stuff. Like my son, who is a runner, had lots of things to deal with. He didn't know what ibuprofen was. It wasn't just never took like some of these common things because we always had something else to take. And what I've loved is that it's helped to avoid some of the side effects that people who don't know that there's alternatives often are dealing with.
Yeah. I remember that story, Stacey, and I love that they don't even know what those things are. And it's okay, right? Okay, so for Virginia, for your question, here we go. I want to show you, so I'm not just rattling off a bunch of cool stuff. When we first started to use essential oils, both Stacey and I, doTERRA was quite new. They were in their baby stages, and a lot of things were going off of past experiences of other people. Now, the time, 2009, moving forward, there have been a lot of clinical studies and a lot of research. One of the leaders in clinical studies for essential oils is this Dr. Scott Johnson. This is one of his Instagram posts. He's so wonderful to follow. But when you mentioned brain fog, I remembered reading about the study, so I hurried and pulled it up on my phone. There is a correlation between olfaction, smelling, and cognition, brain health.
Mm.
And so they did a study. They actually noticed that as you lose your sense of smell, there's an association with significant loss of both gray and white brain matter in humans. And so they did a study where they diffused an oil each night, 2 hours a night while they slept. They did that for 6 months, and they saw a 226% improvement in cognition, memory, and neural function.
Wow.
So yeah, really, like that's crazy. That all you've got to do is put an essential oil in your diffuser when you go to bed, let it run for 2 hours, and you're done. It can happen. It can be that simple. And their list is rose, orange, eucalyptus, lemon, peppermint, rosemary, and lavender. But there are lots of options and you don't need to start with all of those, right? If you have the top 10, you've got lemon, peppermint, and lavender. And I like to teach people that those 3 oils are like the primary colors of oils. Back to my preschool days, we start with those 3. There's not a heck of a lot you can't do with those 3 essential oils. There have been studies that just the inhalation of peppermint oil will enhance your attention, your speed, and your accuracy while performing clerical tasks. So remembering from the time of when you need to do something, oh shoot, I need to use the restroom, and go and come back, just having peppermint going or rolling a little peppermint on the back of your neck is going to help to improve that cognitive. And not just on the surface, but it's going to do it at the brain matter level. So there you go. Does that answer your question?
Yes, name the other 2 because I have about 3 bottles of peppermint, which is really good because I diffuse it a lot. So peppermint, what were the other 2?
Peppermint, lemon, and lavender. Those are your 3 basics.
Lemon and lavender. Okay.
Mhm. I will post this study in the Wellness Collective Facebook group so that you can get a full list of those oils. But don't let it get overwhelming, right? Just start with something that simple. The other one it recommends is wild orange. Dr. Hill has taught for years, wild orange and peppermint together are your go-to. And they smell amazing. Yep, right there.
Yeah.
All the time.
You just have it kept yet. I just have it in a roller bottle. I just call it Focus. And that has been my go-to since
Oh.
I went to, do you remember, Stacy? We drove out to Salt Lake and went to a class by Dr. Hill. And I think it was had you bought your kit? I don't think you'd even bought your kit yet. Back to just getting brave. I said to this really cool person who was my husband's friend's wife, who I taught her kids in preschool, and put an oil on her nose. And I was like, and I knew she was amazing at business. And I'm like, so there's this Dr. Hill, and he's going to teach a class in Salt Lake 2 hours away. Will you go with me? What if I hadn't asked her to come with me? Because I think it was just after that, a couple days later, Stacy texted me and said, so I bought a kit. I think I'm on your team. Anyway, that's what he taught at that class, was wild orange and peppermint for Focus. Nunia, insect and bug bites. It's lavender. Lavender all day long. Will calm and help the body get rid of those toxins. Add a little lemon in there, add a little peppermint, and you're gonna be good to go. So super easy.
Can I say something about like the bug bites? So when we were in Mexico, I got a bunch of mosquito bites, and I hadn't brought anything like hydrocortisone, whatever. I hadn't bought anything, and there's not a lot of stores where we were. And I only had lavender and eucalyptus with me. And so I was like, well, I'll just try it. I'll put it on. And it was one of the best things ever. Like within seconds, the itchiness was gone, the swelling was gone. And I don't know, I just thought it was cool. And it was just easy way to put it on. And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I like when in doubt, just put something on. Because I've done that before. I'm like, this is all I have. I'm just gonna try it. Like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you guys are probably too young, but Stacy, Virginia, Nunia, my Big Fat Greek Wedding movie, you remember that movie? They put on everything.
Yeah.
You can put deep blue or lavender on anything and it will fix it.
I put top 10s on just about anything because I have a bottle of the roller bottle in about 2 or 3 of my purses, and I carry that with me. And I get something or something else, and I'm like, oh, I don't have it. Virginia, you have your past tense, I tell myself, and I grab that little roller and I just put it on, all gone.
Yep. There you go. So,
Yeah, that's my past tense is my go-to for everything.
and I think that key is just having a go-to whatever it is, right? You're in the middle of Mexico with no stores. Talk about having your own pipeline right in your bag,
Yeah.
right? Put this on, it's gonna work. That's what I love. And what Stacy and I have worked really hard to make sure we have available to you are those resources for you to ask those questions and know those things. And then there are so many things. There are a couple of apps that I have on my phone all the time that I can search because I don't know all the answers. And sometimes there's something new that I don't know. So you can pull up those apps. This is my new favorite book. This has all the studies in it. And we don't have to guess and we don't have to trust, like, we don't have to just hope it's going to work. We can read these studies. When's the last time you left the doctor's office with a prescription where he also sent you home with an abstract of the studies that said that prescription worked?
Never.
He'll send you home from the pharmacy with a 10-page list of all the side effects and things to be worried about, right? But he doesn't prove to you that it's actually going to work. And we have that right at our fingertips now because of all of the clinical studies that are being done. So off my soapbox, I'm done.
May I ask another question? Okay, last week on the 29th, whenever that was, I went to the doctor for my checkup and all that, and they took my blood pressure and took out some blood and everything. And of course, my blood pressure, I have hypertension, so that's okay, I know. But the doctor called me 2 or 3 days later to give me the results of the test, and he just threw something at me that just totally took me by surprise. And he said, my cholesterol is high. And I said, what? I said, if you only knew how little I eat and that everything I eat is so healthy. I said, I don't know. He says, it's not that you eat badly. Obviously, yes, you must eat very little because you've lost a lot of weight. So I'm like, okay. It says, and don't do that anymore. I'm like, no. I just like to have that leeway of if I gain a pound or two, I can lose it. It's up and down, up and down. I said, but my cholesterol. So, okay. So is there anything I can put on or I can take or whatever for that? Because I'm like, I don't understand.
Yes, there is.
Oh, lovely. I
should
knew there
look
was going
that
to be
up.
a yes
Before you
answer.
share that, especially as you're aging and after you're going through perimenopause and you get to menopause, that because of the hormone shifts in your body.
Yeah, because at 73, I'm not 25 anymore.
Exactly. Right. Because of those hormone shifts, that you can have changes in your cholesterol, even if you're eating the same thing. Our cholesterol levels do not go up because we eat cholesterol foods. That has been disproved. Like, that is a myth, that if you eat high cholesterol foods, that your cholesterol is correlated with that. That is a myth. So it's not just what you eat, but it can be.
Yeah,
but I recommend increasing your protein, because this is something that most, especially women, once they start aging, is they don't get enough protein. And so just by increasing your protein that you're consuming, maybe tracking that for a while, just to get a baseline of like, how much protein are you actually getting, be able to take a little bit more. And if you have a hard time eating some things, you can, like doTERRA has the plant-based protein or the chocolate or the vanilla. So those are a way to supplement to get your protein levels up. And oftentimes that will help with cholesterol levels. But I think at least other.
So
up the protein.
It's what your body is doing with your food that's causing the cholesterol issues, right? But lemongrass is
another one of my favorites.
And I've had lots of friends do that for years, actually. You can do it in a capsule. You can do it topically on the bottoms of your feet, over your stomach, if you want to do it that way, or just a couple of drops in a capsule. I was going to hurry and pull up the lemongrass studies. I'm sure there's a study that's going to tell me that will work, but I know it works. The other thing that can help that people have seen help their cholesterol is the MetaPower collagen, the MetaPower Advantage, because it's working with your body's metabolism and how it's breaking down food. So it's helping you do that more naturally, and you're not having that cholesterol build up in.
Okay.
So that's what I would do. If you're already taking MetaPower, then add lemongrass on top of that. If you're not, I would just add the MetaPower Advantage, because you are not only going to lower your cholesterol, you are going to be a brand new woman.
Okay. Yeah, I'm only taking the MetaPower Assist right now.
Advantage is the powder, right, Stacy?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this is like blood sugar regulation.
Okay.
The Advantage has that collagen and also something called NMN that will help with your metabolism as well, like helping to have more metabolic energy to do all the functions that your body needs to do, but it starts slowing down as we age. So
So the MetaPower
Advantage.
Advantage. Let me write that down. Yeah, MetaPower Advantage. Okay.
And when you go onto your LRP and you want to order the MetaPower, put the MetaPower Advantage in your shopping cart first,
Mm-hmm.
do an add-on, and I'm pretty sure you can get that assist discounted because you're buying.
Oh, okay.
So you'll save money on your assist to put to
Okay.
the Advantage.
Awesome.
Okay, we're at 7:30. I'm going to
Oh,
cruise through this.
wow.
No,
Yeah.
I'm going to, because I know there's people who want to create additional income, right? And how can we use doTERRA's system that's already created to be able to do that? So we don't have to go out and create our own pipeline. It's already created. We can tap into that system. If you're in California, I guess it would be 6:30.
It's 6:30, right? I looked at the clock and I'm like, oh my gosh, this meeting is going by so fast. Wow.
No, okay. For us,
Okay, sorry.
yes. And so you can create a fantastic business doing this. For those who part-time, like you don't have 40 plus hours a week to devote to this, I want to share with you that we have a way for you to do this. And doTERRA has set up, for those who are customers, and I don't know, Virginia, if you're just a wholesale customer, and for those who are on here who are wellness advocates, just being aware that your customers can share. You have what's called a referral link now, that if you have a friend, family member that wants to get a bottle of something or try something out, you can send them your link and it unlocks 25% for them. They don't have to pay the normal $35 membership fee. So it's like, oh, you just got a free Costco card for a year. You can go buy your stuff at a discounted price. But then you, as the person who referred them, you get a 20% credit onto your account that then you can go use to purchase product. So if that's you as a wholesale customer or anybody that's watching the replay, that's a way for you to earn free product to help pay for these things that you might be using for your health anyway. Also knowing that if you're a wellness advocate and you have customers who want to share, like let them know that they have an opportunity to share their link. They can earn 20% when anybody uses something, buys something through their link, and that the person they refer gets those benefits of a free membership and the 25% off. So it creates a win-win. And those customers actually become your customers, even though your customer referred them. And so that is probably the simplest way that you can share with other people. If you are a wellness advocate and you have customers, just helping them to know they can do that. And that is a way that can grow your business over time, grow your income over time, as people are just naturally sharing and teaching and educating others as things come up. Like I just had a phone call yesterday, a voicemail that was left by this lady who had enrolled with me, and she had been using oils and other products because she had a lot of health issues. She was on multiple medications and was just not getting the results that she wanted to. And so she started using some different products from doTERRA, and she left me this message. In fact, I'm going to play it for you because this is the ideal way of being able to share products with people, be able to create an income in just a very natural way. Like this isn't, she even says on it, like she's not a salesperson, right? Let me share. I just posted this on Instagram. I hope you can hear.
I have so much to tell you. My whole life has changed with these products. As far as my health, I'm going to cry, okay? My labs have changed so much that I am able to go off 3 medications. And some of my labs that were so abnormal have completely returned to normal. So I've been telling my friends, I never thought that I would be a salesperson, but people are asking me to sign up after I've told them my stories, and the income would be very helpful as I'm on Social Security. So I have a lot of questions on how to do this.
I was like, that was amazing. Then we jumped on the phone, and she was able to then tell me like the medications that she had been on, and being on Social Security. She's called it a donut hole. There's this time when her medications are not covered, and one of those medications is $3,000 a month. $3,000 a month. And so she just went in and she was just sharing with me like some of the things that she had changed and the results of that, and how she's just naturally been sharing with people, and people want to get oils through her. And she just needs to know how to do it. And it's super simple, because she can then send her link to them to be able to get some of those products. And we have, if you're not familiar with it, what's called the Wellness Collective. And this is the place where your customers can go, where you can go for support. If you have questions, we have trainings in there. So you don't have to do it. So as a part-time entrepreneur, you don't have to spend all the time teaching a bunch of classes or supporting a bunch of people, because the system is in place because of doTERRA and because of this Wellness Collective. It's an opportunity for you to just get really good at using the products, being able to share with other people what you're using, and connecting them to solutions. And so Virginia, you said like, I'm not a salesperson. And what I advocate for is that we become really good solutions providers, that we recognize problems that people have. We start seeing what kind of solutions do I have already for them, whether that's health-based or financial-based. How can I help connect them to that? And they get to choose, like if they want to give that a try, that type of, do they want to put that thing on their nose for allergies? They get to decide. And you don't have to be a salesperson to do that. Sales skills are awesome. I love salespeople when they're the type of person that I'm trying to find a solution for you. Like, I hear you, I see you, I understand what your problem is because I've asked questions, I'm open to listening, and then you are providing like, this could be an answer. This could be something that helps you. And that's really what this is that doTERRA has given us an opportunity to tap into their pipeline, to tap into their system, and connecting people with these solutions, and that they will pay us for doing that. And that funding for me, that allows me to do what I do, right? Like because I earn an income, I'm able to do more. I'm able to reach out to more. I'm able to spend some of that money to learn skills that help me to be better at helping more people. But you can do this on a part-time basis just by connecting people with solutions and not being afraid of connecting. Like Elise asked me to go to that class. I think it was like 13-ish years ago, to see Dr. Hill. And it changed my life because I was dealing with miscarriages. I was dealing with migraines. I was dealing with chronic sinus infections. And the things that he taught in that class were answers to my prayers, answers to my problems. And that's why I just went online and I got the things that he recommended. He's like, I am willing to try this because these other things have not been working. And so she was willing to step out and invite me to a class just like this one. We're going to be having this same class in 2 weeks on the 19th. So it'd be on a Tuesday, I think. 6:30, 7:30 in California, or 5:30. And invite people to come and learn. Like, all they can do is say no. But if you have people like, hey, maybe they'd be open to taking care of their health in a different way, maybe they would be open to creating extra income. I tell you, like right now, it is a perfect storm for people just coming through a pandemic, looking at what are some other ways that I can take care of my health. going through inflation, going through like financial challenges, and they're going to be going forward, you know, with the high prices going on. Like there's going to be a huge fallout for people. And this is an opportunity for people to start taking care of those things right now. Like preventative health, the best time to start is right now, right? The same thing with building your financial pipeline. The best time is right now, right? It would have been nice 10 years ago, 20 years ago, like right when we got out of high school, that would have been like awesome. But if you're whatever age you are, today is the best time to start creating that financial pipeline. And so doTERRA set that up for you. Now, do we have any questions for anybody that's on here as far as the financial piece? I do want to show you kind of next steps of what we have coming up that you can invite people to or that you can participate in. But are there any questions on that financial piece that I can address? I mean, we didn't go into like compensation plan or how you make money. We have videos for those kind of things. Let me share a screen, a right screen. Let's go here. Can you, oh, that's probably the wrong screen. One more time. Okay. Here's what we have coming up that you're welcome to participate in. Like you all have accounts with doTERRA. But next on the 19th of September, the day before my birthday, we have this class again. Here's an opportunity for you to invite people to come, just learn a little bit more. We can dive into the oils. We can teach about that. We can teach about creating a financial pipeline and a little bit more of how that works. So invite people, have them come. Like all they can do is say no. Also on October 2nd through the 4th, we are doing an evidence-based essential oil 3-day boot camp. This is a great opportunity to invite people to learn how to use essential oils. And it will be an hour each day, and it will be recorded so people can come in and participate live, or they can watch the recording. But we're going to be diving into like really how to use these. And so this is a great opportunity for you to up your essential oil knowledge and skills, but it's also a great opportunity for you to invite others to participate and learn. And those who want, that don't have an account, like they can get their account through you. You can share your link with them, right? We can do the education, you do the inviting. And then October 23rd through the 27th, we are going to be helping you to launch your side gig. I think you had a different name for it. I don't know if I changed that. I did not change that. But this is where we are going to teach you how to share your referral link, like the technical side of that. We will be teaching you how to invite people without being a weirdo, right? Like how to do that without like being the salesy person, right? How to share online if you want to be sharing online. So today I have somebody that had reached out to me online. He's like, hey, I want to get 2 kits, one for me and one for a friend. And so we've just been texting back and forth so that he could get his kit. Like, how can you help people and it's convenient for you, convenient for them? How can you follow up with people without being pushy or salesy? Just very helpful and tapping into the system that we have already created. So we'll be training you, helping you to learn the skills to be able to do that on those dates. So just know we will be announcing that, but this is what's coming up for those who are not like all in on building a doTERRA business, but you do want to create some additional income and you are open to helping other people. This is how you can tap in without consuming all of your time. Any questions about any of that? So the list of workshops we will be putting in the Wellness Collective in that Facebook group. I also have created for we will send out an email with all of that as well, so that you can sign up and really tap into it. Let's see, what is required to register as a wellness advocate initially and ongoing? So wholesale customers, you have the ability, if you have a wholesale customer account, you can share your referral link. You don't have to even place an order. You don't have to do anything, right? Just if you have an account with doTERRA, you have a referral link. You can share it anytime. You can earn up to $600, like $599 worth of free product. If you are sharing more than that, or you want money instead, right? Cash, you want them to send you checks or deposit into your account money, then you would need to upgrade to a wellness advocate, and it's free. And you just go log into your account, and in your account, there will be a link that says upgrade to wellness advocate. That's free. You just have to enter either your social security number or a business EIN number, because doTERRA is required to track that. So if you earn over $600, then they will send you a 1099. So that's why you would need to upgrade to do that. And then in order to earn commission as a wellness advocate, the only requirement in your business, the only business expense that you would have is it's 100 PV or product value order through the loyalty rewards program that month if you want to earn commission, right? That's not required. As a wellness advocate, you don't have to do any orders, but if you do want to earn commission, then that's kind of the signal to doTERRA that you are wanting to earn commissions. But that we just use that for our own personal like product use, like because we buy so much stuff, we have this huge family, like we don't have a problem doing that. But in order to qualify for commissions, for the doTERRA system to look at things and say, oh, these people qualify. So if you earned, like you enrolled someone, or just the other commissions that we have available to you, that's the one requirement. I hope I answered that. Any other questions? And I do want to tell you that the biggest thing that is different, and especially if you're watching the replay and maybe you've tried network marketing or direct sales before and you weren't successful, or you've tried doTERRA doing certain things before and haven't had the success that you want, I want to tell you what we have available to you that will make all the difference. So there's really 3 things that are needed to be successful, whether if you're wanting to create that part-time income, $500 a month, $1,000 a month, or you're wanting to create more. There's 3 things that are really necessary in order for you to be successful. And they all start with an S, so you can remember them. So one is your story. The second one is your strategy. And the third one are your skills. And generally when people aren't having success, and really in anything, like I think about sports, your stories are the beliefs that you have in your brain, like the mindset that you have. So you could be the greatest athlete, but if you keep thinking like, I'm terrible at this, I'm going to strike out, I'm going to whatever it is, you're never going to be successful, right? You're going to you will prove yourself right by not hitting the ball because your brain wants to be right. So we work on stories, we work on strategy, because there's many different ways you could do this. And so we want to make sure you have the strategy in place that you feel comfortable with. You get excited about. If you hate teaching classes, if that terrifies you, then that wouldn't be the way that you would do this, right? You might just invite people to somebody else's class. You just invite to these online classes. So there's a lot of different ways to grow a part-time business. And the third one is skills, that there will be things that you'll need to learn in order to be successful, depending on what level of success that is, right? So those 3 things are really important, but the thing that will be different is that you will receive not just training. So that's like the information about how to do things, or here's the strategy, or here's the skill, or here's like the mindset that you should have, but there will be coaching. And in order for you to like get better at things, it's like when you're on a sports team, you have a coach and they're able to look and see what you're doing and analyzing like, oh, if you just made this one small adjustment, you're going to knock the ball out of the park, right? When you swing that bat. But it's having someone there who understands and knows and has the skills and the mindset and the strategies available to say, hey, if you would just tweak this, if you would just do this a little bit different, like you're going to see far different results. You're going to impact so many more lives. Your income is going to be a lot different if you do this. And so that coaching piece is really important. And that comes through being a part of our wellness collective. And we will show you that when we do that launch your boot camp in October, that we will show you how to tap into that coaching. So you won't be doing it alone. You'll have help to guide you through those things according to what you want to create, so that you can overcome. If you're like, I'm not a salesperson, well, okay, you don't have to be a salesperson. If you're thinking, I don't know enough people, or I'm not a business person, or I don't know enough about oils, like all of those things, we will help you overcome those challenges and help you to change the stories in your head, to find the strategy that works for you, and also develop the skills depending on what your goals are, so that you can be successful. And so you won't be doing it alone. I think that's
say one thing that is different, because Stacy and I have done all the trainings, all the books, we've read all the things, we've done all the things, right, Stace? And what we have come to find out, and the key thing that Stacy said, is we're going to help you find a way to build your business that makes you excited. We're not going to make you fit into the cookie cutter that works for Stacy or works for me. Stacy and I are such good friends, but we have totally different strengths, right? I'm a preschool teacher. I'm a certified teacher. Stacy's a financial whiz thing. I call her for business questions. I love to jump in and do the teaching part. So we have been able to use our strengths to find what makes us excited about our business, and we're going to help you find what's exciting for you to build this for you. We're not going to try to mold you in to what we are, although the skills are the same. We're just going to help you execute them in a way that feels good and amazing. And it is as simple as, think about the last time you read a book and it was amazing, or you watched a movie that knocked your socks off. How many people did you tell? You've got to go see Sounds of Freedom. Have you seen Sounds of Freedom? You've got to go see Sounds of Freedom. Have you been to Hello Dolly at the Downtown Theater? Have you seen the tap routine that she does, right? It's the very same as that. So Nunu, you put down here your question, how do we suggest navigating conversations with those who respond negatively about an MLM? You're providing a solution. And if you're wanting to approach them with the business first, then we talk to them about the core of doTERRA. And the core of doTERRA is not that they're a multi-level marketing company. The core of doTERRA is that they are giving back. And the best way for them to get products out was person to person. A bottle of lavender on a billboard does nothing. A bottle of lavender or a bottle of Purify put on my friend's fingers and wiped over her nose changed both of our families, because it gave me the confidence to keep sharing, and it gave Stacy, it opened Stacy's eyes to what the possibility with essential oils were. If that bottle of Purify had been on a billboard, neither one of us would have stopped. We would have both driven by. So you talk to them about the other aspects of what doTERRA is. That's what identifies them. Their co-impact sourcing, their 25 collective, all of those things. And the way we get paid is an MLM. And if they still have a hang up, then we move on.
And I do want to address that, because generally people who have an issue with network marketing, MLM, are either people who have had firsthand experience with a terrible experience. So I found it's helpful to be open to listen to their experience. And so it might just be a question. So you're like, it's one of those pyramid schemes, or it's, an MLM, and there's kind of a negative connotation. Is asking and being open to like their experience. Like, so did you try one? Because it sounds like you have had a negative experience. And that just allows them to express like, yeah, I tried it and it didn't work. Or I tried and it was like so salesy or whatever. The products were terrible. Like, it's amazing to be able to let them just share their experience. Or it was like me, who had never had any experience with an MLM, but I had a marketing professor who she told us in our marketing class, do not get involved with MLMs, with network marketing. It's a pyramid scheme. So in my mind, that's what I believed. I had no experience with it. I didn't know that there are legit pyramid schemes out there where there's not an actual product or service that is of value that people are selling and marketing. Like, it's just like, pay your money to that person and they'll pay money to that person, and then somebody's left holding it back. Like, there are legit pyramid schemes and people might have been involved in that. And so there are some bad experiences that people have had, and it might be because the company wasn't good, or it might have been that they had a bad experience and weren't successful. They thought things were going to be different. Maybe they didn't put in the effort. They didn't learn the skills. They didn't have like support, whatever that is, but let them express what that is. But we want them to have a different experience. And one thing just for you, if you have like this, I'm embarrassed is like in network marketing, like if you have some issues around that, like Elise was saying, like, it's changing our own story, right? Because what we're doing in doTERRA is helping people. And the business structure, like how we get paid, is a network marketing model, which there is nothing illegal. There's nothing wrong with it. In fact, I just pulled this up because I think it's super funny and you've probably seen this, but this is a pyramid scheme. Like I came from the corporate world. In my business, I worked for Ford Motor Company in finance and marketing. There was only one CEO. There was only one top person. There was only one president. There were vice presidents. There were middle managers. There were, that was a pyramid. And there was only a few people that were going to make a lot of money. And most people that were working the hardest were these people who weren't going to be making that much money, right? And so that is a pyramid scheme. And so that is just a mindset like, okay, well, so in doTERRA, there is no limit on your income. And it doesn't matter if you get in first or you come in right now, because it depends on what you do, right? You get paid for results. You get paid for what you do. And so income is like the limit. I mean, the sky is the limit as far as income. And so sometimes it's for ourselves just having that mindset shift, because once we are confident in what we're doing and we see like, oh my gosh, like doTERRA is an amazing company. I love their products. They have helped me to do X, Y, Z. And their compensation plan, I do want to show you this as well. Just again, for a mindset thing. For those who have been in network marketing and maybe you worked really hard and you didn't create the income that you wanted, this is a comparison with other network marketing companies and where doTERRA falls on that. There is a difference in compensation plans. So there might be people who are coming from companies where they worked really hard and they helped a lot of people and the product was great, but their compensation plan was terrible. And so this is a comparison with some of the top network marketing companies and where doTERRA lays with that. So on the top rank, you can see how much more people in doTERRA are making at the top rank. But you're like, oh, I don't know if I'll ever make the top rank. But these lower ranks, this is a rank of, it's called silver. Do you see how much they're $26,000 a year part-time doing doTERRA? And it's our lowest leadership rank is still higher than all of the other ones, right? And then it like doubles just going from a silver to a gold in doTERRA. Same amount of work, different compensation plan. And from what I hear from many people, they love these products from these companies. So it's not a product problem. And like Elise was saying with network marketing is that it's just how we're paid. So instead of paying a marketing company to market our products or hiring a bunch of marketing people within our corporation to do the marketing, and that the company is making all of the profits and it's getting returned to shareholders, doTERRA instead said, hey, guess what? We're not going to have shareholders. We're not going to have a board. We're not going to go public. We are going to give those commissions to the people who are sharing the product. And what's amazing about today is that more people trust their friends or family, a referral from someone they know and trust, than some advertisement, than some, like, I got some Facebook ad, something in a magazine. Do people read magazines anymore? Something in your newspaper. We don't read newspapers. Let's see. Oh, the little flyer with the value coupons, right? Like, who do you go to? You ask your friend, like, who's a good plumber? Like, who do you trust?
Right.
And so when they are seeing you and they trust you, and you're confident in the product, and you're also confident in the compensation plan and where these oils are coming from and all the good we're doing, when you're confident in that, that will come across differently to people and they will want to be a part of it, right? And so just kind of you'll learn the skills of how to do that, but it's also a mindset thing that we can also teach you, so that when you have people who are like, it's network marketing, like, what do you say so that you're not one of those people? Because we aren't. Like, I don't want to be one of those people. I just want to help people, and I want them to see, like, this is a great opportunity for you, and it may not be a fit. Like, maybe something else is better for you. I hope that answered. Like, I get on a soapbox with that.
Well,
Okay, go ahead.
I don't know the best answer for that. I'm super new at this. Can we have a call with my very most famous, awesome friend, Stacy, or with my favorite friend, Elise?
Right? We would talk all day long and listen, ask questions, like we have no fear.
We'll talk for, and it's okay to say that. I've been in the middle of a class and been stumped and said, let me grab my book. I'm not sure how to fix some 25-letter word, right? It's okay to not know it all, because that's part of empowering them to make their own decisions. And same with the business. So use us, let us be that tool for you until you gain that confidence yourself.
Yeah. And just know that most people in doTERRA, they come in as a product user. So they came in like, that was me. That was like, we just came in, wanted to use something more natural. We're getting our experiences. We saw like, oh, this is working. This is awesome. And then we started sharing maybe casually with people. And then it was like, oh, light bulb moment. I could be creating a better income doing this, like helping people and doing like, okay. And it came together. Just know most people come in that way. But there's others who are already prepared, like they are all natural people and they might be looking for, like, just be open. But most people do come with just wanting to use the
And
product.
some people say no first, because I called Stacy and said, I have this really cool plan and I could travel to California and take 2 classes a month at your house, right? And help you create an income. And Stacy was like, no, thanks. What? Okay. I thought she was just going to be at because she was so amazing. And I don't know, what was it? 6 months later, you called me and said, yeah, we're going to do that. On their own time frame, and we're here to meet you where you're at and here to help you meet your people where they're at too.
Okay. Thank you for joining. The replay is in the Facebook group. We will get the other events coming up posted so that you can register for those. And I just recommend you invite people. Like, all they can do is say no. Like, you're not any worse off because they weren't coming anyway if you didn't invite them, right?
Right.
And so this is an opportunity, just like my friend Terry, who's on Social Security, and like, she needs the income. Like, I want the income, and I've seen the power of these oils. This is a great opportunity for me to help other people, and it can come back to you by helping people. So, all right.
If you get the Wellness Collective weekly email, we'll make sure that we have those dates updated in that as well. And if you're not getting that Wellness Collective email, you can go to the pinned post, I'm pretty sure, in the Facebook group and sign up for that. But that comes out every Sunday, and we try to keep that as up to date as possible with what is coming up. So,
Okay.
All right. Thanks for
Thank you
going,
so much.
Diana. I didn't get to acknowledge you, but thanks for coming as well. And we'll see you, Nunia and Mindy.
Goodbye.
Good night.
Good night.